Hello and welcome to LexisNexis RegCompliance Plus. My name's Michael Nelson, and I'm your Customer Experience Manager. Today, we're looking at the search functionality on the RegCompliance Plus platform. As you can see, you've got access to search from the landing page. There's a text box here that will allow you to search by obligations, alerts, or both. So let's look for something that's always going to be useful, something like breach notification. There's some basic filtering functionality already available to you here. So you can look at particular jurisdictions. So today we'll look at Australia and the Commonwealth. And we'll look at both alerts and obligations, but you can toggle between them separately or all together. There's also a way you can access particular favorites you might have searched for before. You can see here previously we've looked for anti-bribery and corruption, in particular search terms there. So what we're going to do is look at breach notification, and we'll start our search now by clicking on the white magnifying glass. Now you can see from the search that we've put in, we've got more than 10,000 responses, 9,700 obligations, and just a whisker under 7,000 alerts have responded when we've looked for the word breach and the word notification at the same time. There's a graphical display here that will allow you to scroll through the various artifacts that have appeared, obligations and alerts, and see where those appear in each of them. But as you can imagine, 10,000 is probably more than we're looking for when it comes to results. So within the search results, we can filter further. If, for example, we were going to include the word civil, say, for example, we're looking after civil penalties, we could search that, and all of a sudden we're down to 4,934. Let's drill down a little bit further and have a look at something like Australian credit licensees. We've already added the jurisdiction tab, so we can drill down a little bit further still and just focus on financial services. It probably won't change very much because, as we know, Australian credit licensees already fall within that space. So we've gone from 10,000 responses to 134. Now let's go over to here and search by relevance. And you can see here, it's displaying the filters that we have in place. But if we need to clear those, we can click clear here, or we can add this particular set of filters as a favorite so that we can revert back to that next time we land in the search bar. So let's go for the newest. And all of a sudden you can see here we've got breach near the word civil. Now, if we wanted to share these results, we can print them, we can email them, we can download them, we can have a printer-friendly view and review that. But there's also a few other things that we can do with these. So if, for example, we wanted to edit the search and include new areas, we can click up here and go edit. Now, one of the new capabilities of this platform is to include Boolean search functionality. So if we wanted to search for the string breach notification, we can put double inverted commas either side. And what that will do is create a search for only those instances where the words breach and notification are found together. And you can see all of a sudden we're down to 2, and we can see the word civil here. Now, if we were interested in tracking the advent of new legislation, or we are focused on a particular topic that might see new obligations or new alerts published, we can create our own sort of alert. So by clicking on the bell, we can nominate a particular title for it. We can give it a description. We can put search terms in there. We can choose to monitor obligations and or alerts. We can choose a delivery mechanism and a period where we're going to be tracking any instances, either in obligations or alerts, where this search term appears, and then have that available online or emailed to us. We can also choose, if we want to include other people who are subscribers to the LexisNexis RegCompliance Plus platform within your organization. We can include them when new obligations or new alerts appear with this search term, they can receive notifications as well. And finally, you can create an alert. That means when anything that occurs in this particular format will be notified about it. Now, there's more we can do. We can share all of these results as a link, but we can also run the search term as terms and connectors. Now, we talked about terms and connectors before. The default is a natural language search, but if you want to use the Boolean capabilities to refine your search a little bit further, I'll show you how to do that. And if you're not familiar with it, there's some resources back at the advanced search page. So let's go there. Click up here on RegCompliance to take us back to the landing page. And you might have noticed over here on the right-hand side, there's an advanced search function. So let's click on that. Let's choose to search for obligations. And once again, we can look at breach notification. But if we look on the right-hand side, you'll see there are some additional things that we can add there. So if we were looking for breach notification, the string, we'd use these double inverted commas. If we wanted to include a word that was in two words either side of our search term, we could use and, or we could use or for one or more words. We could exclude possible results. We could put near, so within n words of the second word. And we could also use a root function, which means that if we were looking for breach, for example, but we also wanted to find breaches, breached, breaching, then we could use breach and then put an exclamation mark at the end of that. And the search results will capture all of those instances where breach is a standalone word, but also all of those instances where breach was the root of other words. We can also use this to look for particular obligations by their ID number. And again, we can focus down through obligation, through jurisdictions, and we can even swap from obligations to alerts here. I hope that's been useful. For more information about the search functionality that's available here, please reach out to your relationship manager, or alternately go to the Pendo help desk down on the bottom right to access the other resources that might be available to you. Thank you for your time.